for Change and leader of the Alliance for Revolutionary Change, Alan Kyeremanten, paid us a surprise visit in studio. And we said, if you're coming to say hi to us, please have a seat. Because, when you come to a radio station, you just don't say hi and go. When you say hi, the listeners must hear from you. And then, you say a thing or two.
Yes, I'm going to a palace.
So, great to have you join us. Good morning. And,
Thank you, Winston. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you. How's the going?
It's going very well, by God's grace. Yes.
So we see, it started with the Movement for Change, now an Alliance for Revolutionary Change. Lots of people joining you. How's it going, your quest to leading the country as an independent person, forming a government of national unity?
Thank you very much. First, let me clarify that the Alliance is made up of independent political entities who will continue operating with their individual identities and their own symbols. We've come together as an alliance to fight together the general elections in December. So it is an electoral alliance. It is not a measure. So each of the groups will keep their individual identities, they will keep their symbols, but would have a joint campaign team. So, for example, I still maintain my position as founder and leader of the Movement for Change. But I have been endorsed by the Alliance partners, and let me use this opportunity to express my profound gratitude to my colleague leaders of the Alliance parties and groups. They have endorsed my candidature. So the Alliance will have one candidate. That has always been the challenge with alliances. The partners end up fighting amongst themselves about positions. But they have been gracious enough to have endorsed my candidature unanimously. So I will still operate under the umbrella of the Movement for Change, and indeed, if hopefully by the time we get to the elections, the ballot paper would have Alan Kyeremanten as an independent presidential candidate with the symbol of the butterfly, which is the symbol of the Movement for Change. However, because the movement is part of an alliance, we would campaign together as let's say as a group of political parties.
So I know that you have your great transformational plan.
Yes.
Has the alliance adopted that also, or you are now going to come together and decide on what to do?
Very much so. There were 6 considerations that I would say gave us the platform to come into the alliance. One was the question of ushering in a new leadership, the concept of leadership in Ghana. All the alliance partners believe that we need the type of leadership that is visionary, that is competent, that is transformational, that is transparent, that is accountable. All of us believe that that's the type of leadership that we should be promoting. And when we talk about leadership, it's not just the president. If the president is competent and his ministers are not competent, that's not the desirable situation. So first was about a new type of leadership. Secondly was the quest for the implementation of transformational policies in all sectors of our nationhood, political, economic, and then social. So because all of us are talking about transformation and policies that are transformational, all the alliance parties agreed that they would adopt the great transformational plan of the movement as the blueprint for the alliance.
Okay.
And remember, the very name given to the alliance is symbolic of the fact that we are all working towards transformation, because revolution is defined as complete and dramatic change, which is what transformation is about. So that was the second reason for coming together. The third reason was for us to bring the private sector at the center of our development agenda. The fourth was for us to build a united Ghana. And all of us believe in working towards a government of national unity. And all of us have been talking about that. A government that is representative not just of political parties, but other interest groups. We also believe that we should put the young people of this country and the women at the center of our development agenda, because the young people constitute almost 73% of the population. And last but not the least, we all believe that there must be a revolution in the mindset of Ghanaians. So basically, this is not a marriage of convenience. You can see that there are very significant considerations that have brought us together.
So, if you just joined us, we're talking to Alan Kyeremanten. He is the founder and flag bearer of the Movement for Change. And he is now, of course, the spearhead of an alliance which involves 7 other independent political entities who are
And
all
actually,
endorsing.
9 now.
9 of them now.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. All endorsing his candidacy. So now that you've clarified that it's more of an alliance than a merger, what's the situation with the running mate then? Have you chosen a running mate from this alliance?
All the alliance partners have agreed that the choice of a running mate must be decided by the alliance partners. Now that we've come together in the alliance, and they've also agreed that it must not be a primary consideration for now. Our interest was to make sure that we consolidate the alliance and at least we have a leader, because we are working towards fighting an election.
Okay.
And it's about who is on the ballot paper. So that's our primary consideration.
But talking about primary consideration,
Are you indicating your interest?
No, but talking about primary consideration, I mean, look, let me go back. In 1992,
Yeah.
what was known as the Progressive Alliance.
Yes. Yeah.
The NDC. No, when you go to 1992, the NDC, the Eagle, then the NCP. One of the leaders, so we know that Ko Akaova, then leading the NCP, became the running mate.
Yes.
In 1996, I remember the Great Alliance, NPP and then PCP.
Yes.
J. Kufuor, then of the NPP, as leader of the alliance. You had Kowakai again, this time not NCP but PCP, becoming running mate. So I've given you the president, and so my next question will be, is it the case then that one of the alliance leaders is likely to be the running mate?
Because we've agreed that this joint enterprise is driven more by considerations other than the positions, in my very humble and considered opinion, it is something that as we sit to deliberate on this, there will be, I would say, key criteria for making that decision or choice about the vice presidential candidate. Because remember, like I say, it's not a marriage of convenience. And we are initiating a process that hopefully will become the torchbearer for political transition and transformation on the whole continent. Because this will be the first time that you would have a major African country go beyond political parties, particularly the duopoly. Because in many African countries, we have the same situation. To elect an independent candidate, Benin has already had that experience, and Benin is now being celebrated, So the focus now is first on making sure that we have a strong alliance. Secondly, having a presidential candidate as an independent president who will contest and win. And of course, the vice president just supports the president.
If you don't mind, I'd like for us to touch on a couple of events that have occurred since you started your campaign. Not so long ago, I think you were addressing the Church of Pentecost,
when
you said that you believe that Ghana has a responsibility to elect a Christian leader. You went further and talked about how the person should be Christ-like. But of course, you know that the immediate understanding of what you have said is that because we are a predominantly Christian country, which is something you even said, because we are a predominantly Christian country, we have a responsibility to choose a president who is Christian. Is that still something you stand by, bearing in mind the fact that we have only ever had Christian leaders, yet as a nation we're not where we're supposed to be?
But unfortunately, I think that it's not supported by, very respectfully, by political logic. The fact that we've had Christian leaders, and in your view, we are where we are. I'm not sure that dilutes the point. I'm appealing to a constituency that I believe has the capacity to make a determination as to who leads the country. But even just for basic first principles analysis, the interests of the majority would always matter. Basically, you are appealing to the majority of Ghanaians that you be the right person. What is wrong with that? Because remember, if I have the opportunity and have very strong representation and respect within the Muslim community, you understand me? When I go into any region, I make sure, without fail, that I meet with the Christian leaders, I meet with the Muslim leaders. And I make the same appeal. If I go to meet the leadership of the Muslim community, I'll make the same appeal.
And that appeal being?
That appeal will be asking them to support my candidature. Why not? Because it's about numbers. So if I can have Christians vote for me, I can have Muslims also vote for me, then I am a candidate who has the support of both Christians and then Muslims.
But when you meet the Muslims,
there's I do not see any contradiction in purpose.
So when you say, for instance, that when you go to a church and you say vote for a Christian or Christ-like person, and like Ojo was saying, the assumption is that you're saying don't vote for a Muslim.
No. This is why I say there's no logic in that. What is the logic in saying that because I've asked them to vote for me, that I'm saying that because I'm making a case for myself as a candidate.
But what you said was that it is their responsibility to vote for a Christian
I'm saying
leader.
that it's their responsibility to have an interest. Because, but this is, for me, that's more of the logic than what I hear you say. Let's say you have a group of people. So it means that you are representing, let's say, a certain percentage of the population. And if I appeal to you that I have these qualities and I want you to consider voting for me as a candidate, what is wrong with that? Because basically, you are representing a certain group of people.
Okay.
Try and understand the logic. You are representing a certain group of people. And I am appealing to you that I would like you to vote for me. First, because you have the power to vote for me. But this is what, there's nothing wrong. You have the power to vote for me. And so I'm appealing to you that you should vote for me. We have other candidates who would go and appeal to the same group. When other people go to, let's say, an assembly of Christians, and they ask for them to vote for them, it would be on the basis of what? And so if I go to the, I would also make the same appeal to them, that they are representing a certain group of people. You understand me? And I would like them to consider and vote for me.
Okay, let's move on. You've been going around the country. You've been touring markets. I just want to understand the whole idea behind these market tours. You know, normally you're campaigning and people are doing, but you seem to be focusing on markets. I mean, you're in the Volta region, you go to these markets. You go to, and you were in the Western region not so long ago. What's this whole thing about the market tours?
Winston, if you are a practical politician and you want to feel the pulse of the nation, go to the markets.
What about the markets?
Because that's obviously that's where I would say everybody would go and do their shopping, and there you're not just talking about people selling, but you meet other people, and that, for me, that is the heartbeat of every country, at least in our system. I mean, when you go to Europe, you typically not go to an open market like we have here. You go to a grocery shop, and then, but in Ghana, that is where the action is. The economy is run from the market. And also, I don't want to deceive myself as a politician. I want to get a sense of how people feel about me, because this is about winning the hearts of people. So once you insert yourself in a market environment, you are taking a very serious and, I would say, courageous step to test how people feel about you. And let's face it, it's either you are received and hailed, or you will be received and booed, or kind of you see the darker side or the negative side of it. But because I want to feel the pulse of the average Ghanaian, the ordinary Ghanaian, that's my strategy.
Okay.
And like I said, it can work and it can also go against you. But for me, I need to do that.
And so far,
it has been fantastic. And okay. I take it that it's what I call proof of concept. Because if you can go into a market and have that volcanic and organic eruption of show of love, and if you hear what people are saying, it gives you a sense of what they are thinking, the narrative. And you are big men, so you sit in these nice studios, but you don't know what is happening on the ground.
What is happening on the ground?
So what is happening is what I'm telling you, that they want change. That they feel that after so many years, over 32 years of NDC and MPP, their circumstances are probably even worse. So, without any prompting, that is what is on their mind. That's what is on their lips. How can you stay in a market environment that remains the same for over 30 years? So it means that things are not working. And I've done that in a number of regions, as you said, and it's not just one market. Greater Accra went to about 7 markets. And of course, the Kokompes, you will not say they are markets, but that's also is the same kind of concept that where you get a heartbeat, you feel the people in those places. So whether it's in the Greater Accra region, Central region, Eastern region, Volta region. So for me, going into Volta region unannounced, going into home market, which is the stronghold of NDC, that requires a lot of courage. Because Winston, I mean, just to go there and not think about whether you would even be received there or not. This is a very bold step. But fortunately, as I said, it is just a show of organic love. The last place I went to was Western region. And I think I did about 7 markets. So I think people have not sat down to understand what is going to happen. This is the way I see it. You see, because I can understand why. Because remember, I have been in the system since 1992, with the coming into force of the new constitution. I've been at the center of politics in this country. I've been a founding member and a key figure in a dominant party. So I know what happens there. I've come out because I think it is time for us to change our political architecture, And for me, it is gratifying that even though I've just started, people are already kind of endorsing the move. And so if you are in a political party, let's say between the NDC and MPP, and you think you have 40%, which is what somehow I think they think they have, then you're only living in deception. Because remember, MPP does not have more than 1 million registered voters. I'm talking about registered members, those who have membership cards and things like that. The people who actually work for the party as executives, they are no more than 210,000. Those are the people who, whether MPP is doing well or not, you can guarantee that you can anchor their votes. So let's say at least those who are registered members, 1 million. NDC will be about the same. And 1 million, I know it's a lot of people, but let's say 1 million on both sides. If you multiply that by 3 and you have 3 million for MPP, 3 million for NDC, that's only 6 million. 6 million. Yeah. Now, if you look at the numbers now, the number of people who would vote in the 2024 election will be about 19 million. Because 2020, it was about 17 million.
Yes.
Now, so you are even if you use the 2020 statistics, that's about 20. So let's say 17 million, and you have 6 million. So you have 11 million people who are not registered members. So who are they? They are either sympathizers or they are floating voters. Now, by definition, a floating voter has not made a decision to vote for either MPP or NDC. That's why they are floating voters. But equally importantly, those who are not registered members, they are only sympathizers of either party. So if somebody appears on the scene and they like that person, they will, it is just common sense, first principles thinking, that they will start looking at this seriously. No, but I think this is the right person. You understand me? So when you do the arithmetic, you'll find that the 11, if you're using the 2025, the 11 million people, they are those who are between the ages of 18 and 35. Because if you look at the statistics from the 2020, the registered voters who are aged between 18 and 35, they constitute over 55%, almost 60% of the vote. Almost 55% to 60% of the vote. And people in that age bracket, they don't care about NDC or MPP.
So
they don't care about NDC or MPP.
So for you,
yes,
what's the end game? Push this election to a runoff or win it?
Win it. But how would I, with all the years I've spent in politics, it's not about going. So I hear this all the time. He's in this to spoil somebody's chances.
Mr. Kyeremanten, the other point is that
yes,
you've said both NPP and NDC.
Yes.
In fact, since let me bring it to 2000.
Yes.
None of them has gone below 40%.
You mean at the polls?
In the polls.
Yeah, but Winston, I've just explained to you.
Yeah, but that's you
But
if you also look at since 1992,
yes.
92.
Yeah.
Okay, 92 we'll put it aside. We say it's an outlier. We probably may add 99. Or even 1996.
Yes.
The NPP had 39%. The Great Alliance, 39%.
Yeah.
Fast
but that is sympathizers.
Yes, but
people who can change their mind.
Some of these people that you talk about as sympathizers, some of these people you talk about as members, you also know that some of them may not be members, as in having cards, but maybe die in the wood. Sympathizers who may not change.
So I said times 3.
Why not 5?
No. So, but basically, I think maybe you've not understood the analysis. I'm saying that the 11 million or those above, let's say the 3 million, are the people aged between 18 and 35.
Okay.
That is the consideration that group traditionally has no allegiance to either MPP or NDC. Whoever appeals to them in a given election will be the one that they will vote for. So I'm saying that this time it's not just NDC that is standing, it's not just MPP. This time they have somebody who is standing who has put them at the center of his campaign. Okay. So basically, it's a different ballgame. The dynamics are different. You can't use the context of past elections to determine what is going to happen.
Well, I mean, whether members or sympathizers, as Winston has said, these two parties have always dominated the polls with never less than 40% each.
Yeah.
You are going to have to take away at least 25% of each of these 40%.
Yes.
Which means that you are going to have to pretty much steal about 70% of NDC.
It is not stealing.
70% of okay, you are going to have to annex about 70% of NDC and 70% of MPP votes. Can you do that?
Mr. Yangchi, what you need to appreciate also, that I've been a dominant figure in MPP politics. I mean, let's face it. Right now, the mistake people may be making is that this is not about going for delegates election. You are talking about, even if we take the case that you are making, that 6.5 million people voted for MPP. I'm suggesting to you that I have at least 40 to 50% of that who are aligned to me from 1992, or let's say from 2007. Do you understand the analysis that I'm saying? That the 6 point, let's say they are committed MPP voters. Yes, they are committed MPP voters. I'm telling you, there are a lot of sympathizers in there. What you see at the vote does not mean that they are committed voters, that they don't, it doesn't matter. That even if you put anybody there, they will vote for it. It doesn't work that way. But I'm saying, even in the event that that is the interpretation, if you go into the MPP, remember, I have never had a problem with the grassroots of the party. In actual fact, the only reason why I'm still very relevant in Ghanaian politics is on account of the grassroots of the MPP people. The MPP, the majority of MPP grassroots members, Alan is their man.
So if you say
and
that,
Alan has always been their man. Don't make that mistake.
okay.
Even me coming out right now, why are people going around, oh, Alan is going to come back, Alan is going to come back? You understand me? Because I am connected to the grassroots of the party. Don't I would say confuse that with the leadership of the party. You know, so the people, the majority of the people in NPP right now, they will not be able to tell you for a variety of reasons. They don't even need to tell you. But you wait till they go into the ballot and they will tell you.
Well, the one thing we can certainly guarantee is that in December 2024, the elections will not be boring.
It will not be boring.
So we look forward to these outcomes,
very much
and
so.
we wish you the very best with your campaign.
I really appreciate it.
Indeed.
Yes.
Thank
It's
you
been
very
such a
much.
pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you for making the time to speak to us. Alan Kyeremanten has been here with his colleagues from the Movement for Change.